Hey y'all, welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, we're now moving into the serious part of the Derby Trail with the 50-point Derby preps now commencing, and we'll begin with the Risen Star. It's a Grade 2, 14th race on the Saturday card at Fairgrounds. We're at a mile and an eighth for the 3-year-olds. Big field, 13, a lot of familiar faces, including, of course, East Avenue, who impressed us so much at 2. Jonathan's Way, the Iroquois winner. Uh, Built, who has been pretty good at the fairgrounds with the Gun Runner under his belt, as well as the LeCompte, a good second there. Uh, and Then we've got a few others who we've seen along the way, and a new shooter in Vassimo. We'll take a look at them one at a time. American Promise, really in the Southwest Stakes, I think he got a slow start, and that's really what killed his race. He had to kind of rush up. I think that's the reason for the jockey change to Keith Atherson. Tyler Bacon just did not get him well out of the gate. You could kind of tell by looking at him sitting in the gate that he really wasn't ready to roll. That said, I thought American Promise had every chance to overtake Speed King, and maybe the slow start compromised him a bit. But I still question whether he's Derby caliber, and particularly with the presence of all the early pace runners, the more prominent horses in this race, I think he's up against it. So I'm going to let him go. East Avenue, well, we could throw out that Breeders' Cup Juvenile. That was just a mess. He just never got going once he bombed out of the gate. Um, this horse clearly showed a lot of talent prior to that race, and I love his work tab. I really like it. I love when you have a series of 5 furlong works and each gets a little faster than the prior. I think he's ready to roll. Brendan Walsh's barn is clicking well. I think he's the one to beat, provided he comes in and builds off of what he did at 2. He's the horse to beat here. Whether or not they're going to put him out on the front end is the question. Um, if he's the best horse, and I think he is, they may do that because he's just better than the rest of these. But even if he rates off of, let's say, American Promise or maybe Magnitude or Built to try to get a little bold, then I think he probably has the talent to rate and close when necessary. So I like East Avenue in this spot. Jonathan's Way I love as a horse, but I think he's a one-turn horse. You can say the Kentucky Jockey Club, well, that was a mile and a 16th. It was 2 turns, and he ran pretty well. But when you start seeing horses like this who are by sires who were a little distance challenged like Vacoma was, and you start seeing them linger a little further back, to me what it says is they are trying to marshal his speed and try to conserve it because the distance is a limitation. And they've been doing that in the last couple. He's just lingering a little further back with each. I like this horse a lot. I think he's very classy. And Phil Bauer, great trainer. But I think underneath is the best that this one can do because I just think 2 turns is not what this horse wants, particularly with a long stretch at the fairgrounds. Vassimo is making his first foray into stakes company, and you guys know normally that gives me a little bit of reservation. But I'll tell you, I watched the 2 races for Vassimo. I like what I saw. He's very comfortable, runs very professionally. He should be rating off the leaders, and he's got the pedigree to run all day. I think Vassimo makes a lot of sense here, particularly if East Avenue is a little on the rusty side. Vassimo, to me, probably at a decent price, given the other contenders in here. Of course, we're doing this Monday, so we don't have odds yet. But I think Vassimo makes a lot of sense here. He's also got, as an added bonus, when you see the class rating increasing as the race rating does, that's a horse who is improving and progressing. So, 3rd start, I'm looking for Vassimo to have a nice one, particularly with Irad in the irons. Built is, to me, he's almost kind of a Rodney Dangerfield horse for me. I'm never really excited about him. I think he got an easy lead in the Gun Runner. I think he ran a good LeCompte from the 13 hole. He was able to get to where he wanted to, and I thought it was a nice ride to get him over to the rail, save a little ground, and then make a run. and he just got down by Disco Time, who ran a monster. So there's no complaints with Built. I'm just not sure he's quite of the same caliber as East Avenue, but he's certainly a win candidate and one you want to consider. Magnitude is one that I think is really up against it here. He always seems to run his race, but if you'll note, when he's gone into Graded Stakes Company, that's where he's faltered. He's in the 13 hole. He's going to have a very difficult time getting to where he wants to. And class-wise, I don't think he's at the same level as the rest of them. For those reasons, I'm going to toss him. Chunk of Gold to me is very interesting. Any horse that comes out of Turfway, you have to pay attention to because it's such a stamina and condition builder, that track. And he ran in the Leonidas a good second. He was flying late, just couldn't quite get up and past Baby Max. But he's another one that is progressing. And the move to dirt, all weather to dirt is one of my favorite angles, as you guys know. I think he rates a very good shot to get at least underneath at a price. And who knows, if things break down, he could very well just win this. But it's a tall order. You're going to get him at a price, use him underneath for sure. Septarian, to me, is a one that I really went back and forth with quite a bit. And the reason being is, he comes out of the Mucho Macho Man, and as we know, that's turned into a really lousy race. Guns Loaded and Treaty of Rome, much to my chagrin, did not run very well at all last week in the Sam F. Davis. They're putting blinkers on for this one now. I thought he ran okay in the Mucho Macho Man. He just wasn't going to get to Guns Loaded. Maybe the blinkers helps. Certainly, you have to take him seriously now that Flavien Prat has moved to this horse. But I also want to note that, this is by Resolute Racing, and we know the duel that he and in the Sun that he and Mike Rapoli are having on Twitter. It seems to me like maybe that John Stewart said to Chad Brown, "Well, give me Flavien Prat. Let's go for it here." I don't know that I've seen enough to get really excited about this horse, but the fact that Flavien Prat's on him is going to make me consider him. I think he's more a candidate for under. Giacoso, I really liked at 2 years old. And in the Kentucky Jockey Club, I really thought I had something there. He was at 38-1, made a big move at the top of the stretch, and he looked like he was going to win it, but he just couldn't get to Jonathan's way, and he flattened out a little bit. What concerns me is they moved him back to turf. And I don't know what kind of signal that necessarily sends. He's a very interesting horse, and if you can get a decent price on him game time, I might swap him out for Septarian as a horse who can get up for third. So I'm going to let him go, at this point. But he is one that if the price is right, you might want to think about throwing in to get underneath. Render Judgment, to me, it isn't really getting any better. I like this horse at 2, but he just doesn't seem to be progressing. Maybe with the layoff that may help him a little bit, but I just haven't seen enough to get excited about him. He's certainly a candidate to suck up for third, but he's probably going to be an underlay. So for that reason, I'm going to toss him. The closers, I really didn't see much of any. One of them could certainly get into the money for the Super. That's true. But Seattle Road, I really didn't like the fact that Tom Amoss put him right back in work a week after his stakes, and that he didn't run that great in. And so he's a suck-up candidate. That would be the extent of my interest. But I think this race is going to be won and run on the front end, and so I don't like him. Jolly Samurai, not good enough. Vamos Carlitos is a little interesting, but a horse that ran for the $40,000 claimer and now moving into a graded stakes. Again, he could suck up if you want to use him at a price for underneath in the Super. I can see it, but other than that, I'm letting him go. Wagering strategy. Now, we're picking East Avenue to win, but for the value, we want to stress that, for the value, I think Vassima is worth a look for a win bet. I think he is the second choice to me in this race. He's run a couple, and I just really thought he should have won Villecomte, and the fact that he didn't kind of gives me some reservations about him. So we'll go with a value bet with a real good chance to win it with Vassimo. And then we'll just do our exactas 4-3 and 3-4. Those will be our primaries, and then 4-9, 4-2, and 4-5 for the price. Hopefully with a suck up for chunk of gold. Then the trifectas, we're going to go 4-3 with 2-9, 4-3 with 5-7. Then we'll do 3-4-3-4 with 2-5-9, 2-5-7-9. I'm sorry, and then we'll do another one 3-4 with 2-5-7-9 with 3-4, and then because I think this race does have the possibility you're going to get a big price coming up, mainly for the limitations of Jonathan's way, maybe going around 2 turns once too often sends him back. So then we'll just do 1-3-4, 3-4 all. Hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy, and I wish you the best of luck as always. We will have full coverage of the Risen Star card at Fairgrounds. I believe there's 6 stakes races, so be on the lookout for sequence posts as well as some best bets and value plays as well. Certainly, if you like content like this, please like and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who have recently come on board. That's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.